friends and fellow people of the internet. I am Doge King 300 or the Lumber Lad, and welcome back to another plain crazy video. Today I will be showcasing my LAAT Gunship or LAAT Gunship, my Droid Gunship, and a few mechanisms I used for my LAAT, or mainly the door system. So it's gonna be a longish video, and I will put timestamps in the comments if you don't want to see a certain part of the video and you just want to skip to just a random part. So I'll leave those down there. But without further ado, let's start the video. So first up is the LAAT Gunship, or LAAT Gunship, or Republic Gunship. This is a very iconic vehicle from the prequel trilogy of Star Wars and Star Wars The Clone Wars. It's a troop carrier, and it can be used, it can fly. I don't think it can go in space, but I think it does have certain modifications that can allow it to go into space. I've tried to make it very accurately as I can here. It's got working door system, a co-pilot seat that can go up and down. The pilot seat can't go up and down. It also has a few seats on the inside. It's got 5 seats. Yeah, 5. A few handrails and the door mechanism. It also has these 2 side pods used for gunning. You can't sit in them, but they are controlled so they can move up and down. And it has this back gun as well, and this front gun. In action, so in PvP, it's not the best. It's got lots of guns, so it can destroy anything really quickly, but one rocket shot to the front or the back just completely throws off all the balance and pretty much sends it barreling off the edge. It's got an anchor block so it can freeze mid-air. This is mainly used for the doors, so if you go over the water, because this can go really well on water, it can open the doors without changing its gravity, because it uses thrusters. It can't fly. That's really loud. It can't fly normally, so it can't just zoom around the map. It uses thrusters. It can't also go on terrain because it uses thrusters, and it's just not the best. But here it is flying. When it's over there in the building plot, the wings are up, but gravity pulls them down to get this iconic design. That's about it. I would like to have rocket pods up here, but they just wouldn't fit without ruining the design. Here's its shooting. So it's got 4 guns that have a lot of firepower. It also has this back gun, which is pretty much useless just for the looks. It can hover really well without moving, but as soon as you open the doors, they don't want to open. Yeah, they don't really open in flight, so you either have to land, then open them. They're glitching. There we go. So they open like this, or press Q, which is my anchor block, which locks it mid-air. And they cover up most of the door. I couldn't get it down to this part without it pretty much being useless, but it just slightly opens up, so it just has a lot more room. So if you do have people in here, they don't have to jump through these little holes or this area here, which is, you can just see right through. These are used for officers. These are the main troop areas, and the way you can get into the co-pilot area is by walking through there, and the seat goes up into the co-pilot area. That's what it looks like. It's got a little targeting system for the pilot, and that's about it. I'll go through it just while it's on my plot. So as you can see on the inside, it's just as I showed you before. And the co-pilot seat's a bit like, oh, wrong seat. It's a bit like the officer's seat. Oh no, it got hashtagged. But it's supposed to have something like a targeting system up there, but it's got hashtagged, I suppose. I don't know why. Yeah. This is all, I'll showcase it on water, because that's probably where it works best, because the water's pretty flat. So, as you can see, no, it's sunk. That's not good. Okay. Gonna go relatively close. Oh, that's so loud, because it uses jet engines. Here it is. It's really, really nice on water. And there is one scene from the Clone Wars where there's a few LAATs, I'm just going to refer to them as Republic gunships. A few Republic gunships drop troops off on Mon Calamari, I think it is. You can see them flying across the water, then they open up their bays and the troopers jump out into the water. And I think that was a pretty cool scene, and it can be recreated here if you want to. That's pretty much all I've got to say about this. Let's move on to the Droid Gunship. Here is the Droid Gunship, another sort of iconic vehicle, not as iconic as the Republic Gunship, but it's pretty much the polar opposite of the Republic Gunship. It's a troop carrier, and it uses hovers. If I get it. There we go. It's a lot quieter, sort of. And this was the first one I built, so I built this one before I built the Republic Gunship. This is the only one that can actually carry troops. Well, sort of. These are supposed to be super battle droids, and they can deploy. So using the number keys, they can get dropped. Sometimes they fall over. And this one doesn't have a co-pilot seat. Where I actually sit is in the main head. No, I'm going to fly off the edge. Oh. So, what's happening? Oh, there we go. If I just look through it, in here is where the main pilot is. It has these dropping mechanisms for the soldiers, and it has the hovers underneath. The guns, it's a lot more armed, it's more armed than the Republic Gunship, as it has 5 guns on the front that shoot rapidly, and it has rockets that can shoot out. This is just a little rocket rack I made. I don't know why. But it has rockets that can shoot, and they're really effective because the rocket's home. So you can just shoot people and 6 rockets hit them. This one is a lot easier to control than the Republic Gunship. Probably because of its circular shape, which makes it a lot easier to turn and maneuver. So you can do quick shots and just shoot. It can also go a lot lower when you release the troops. It goes a lot lower, so you can get level with other vehicles like cars, tanks, APCs, and shoot them and launch rockets. I don't know if it's my favourite out of the two. I probably prefer the Republic Gunship, but it's equal on terrain with it as well. So it just messes up on terrain. This one's probably a bit better on terrain than the Republic Gunship, but they're equally, well, they're both really bad on it. Like, it's just not moving, and it falls over. If you have any suggestions on how to fix this, even though it's not really a big deal for me, feel free to leave it in the comment section. Oh, actually flies not too bad. I never really tested it. Oh no, now it's starting to freak out. People can ride on top. It's riding on the top, I wouldn't do it because it can get glitchy and fling you. But that's pretty much all I have to show for my Droid Gunship. I also have a variant of it called the Droid Transport. It's similar to the Droid Gunship with the guns white. It just doesn't have rockets on it, and it has this, it's a lot harder to control. It has this little platform underneath. I don't know how F to activate it. There were seats on this so people can sit on it, and then it just takes them up. I don't know why I made this. I guess just for fun, I suppose. It angles down more, so I suppose you need to get closer to shoot it. And for the Republic Gunship, I made a variant for the ATTE in the scenes where it flies over and drops the ATTEs down. I made one for it that can hold an ATTE, I suppose. It's got the little clamps here. This one doesn't fly. Ooh. Yeah, it doesn't really fly. It just falls backwards. So that's pretty much all I have to show for these 4 vehicles. Now I'll move on to the door system.